Right, and welcome back, guys, with Astrological's Racing Killian's Creative Studio. Real quick, so exciting stuff, exciting news for you guys. A little bit scattered over here. I was unpacking the Simagic Haptic motor. Now, specifically, I got one because I already have a rumbler kit, and I'm going to compare the two of how much of a difference it really makes from the Lunatech Motorsports that you guys saw the review a couple weeks ago prior, and now we're going to be reviewing the Simagic official haptic motor on the brake system. Now, the reason why I got the ABS, and the main reason I got it for the brake specifically, is because there was so much amazing feedback. They almost didn't see the point in getting it for the throttle, so I held back, and I'm still probably going to end up getting it just because I'll have a matching set. But more so, I got this because I want to have a solid comparison of what it feels like on the braking system of the ABS enabled, and then maybe when I'm braking, how you go over the brake, you're braking around corners, and you can maybe hit some turbulence or some road textures over the curbing. You're supposed to feel a little bit of a fight back. The main difference of what you're supposedly supposed to feel is that I can actually feel the weight inside of here, and mind you, this is actually pretty heavy for what it is. There's a piston inside of here. I'm going to post a diagram right here on how this articulates inside of here and why it separates it from just a normal vibrating motor. Most of these Lunatech or even 3D Wrap, there's a lot of companies out here that make these rumbler kits, and they're freaking awesome. They actually add a ton of immersion to your rig, and if you're thinking about getting it, just get them. But if you're looking for, in my hopes, a little bit more of an upgrade from that and to simulate more immersion and maybe even better track times, this would happen to be probably the best, hopefully the best solution here in simulating that. When you are putting on the brake, this piston is supposed to go up and down and even give you some sort of braking resistance up inside of here. It's not just vibrating. And what these are on my pedals right now, from what I've heard, they are essentially Xbox controller or PS4 controller, PS5, basically rumblers that give you vibration inside of regular controller feedback, but on your feet. And all in all, it's actually a really great idea for what it is, but it's very limited to the range of what you're going to feel. And this will be much more deeper in the hertz range. So you have like a 60 hertz versus a 20 hertz. This will be able to get down lower. You'll be able to set the values and increase all that with the Simagic Manager. Pretty much I'm going to show you guys what exactly all came in this box. Obviously, as you guys can see here, this is the design of the beautiful Simagic Haptic motor, right? One of the most important things that you need to do is properly power your setup here, right? This is everything that comes inside of it. And within here, you're going to be able to see just some basic power cords, right? Basic DC, and then your actual power supply, which is actually located in here as well. All of that is going to be very essential into setting this up properly, right? Another important key component that came with this kit that you have to put together on simplace.com. By the way, simplace.com, excellent customer service, really good guys out there. This is also not a sponsored ad whatsoever, but I really wanted to shout them out because they've been getting some recognition that they really deserve. They're really, really professional, awesome third-party product system out there that they have. Anyways, Simagic controller. This is extremely essential to have, mainly because this is going to be the brains of the operation on how you articulate and set your settings and how it really just functions in general. It's the motherboard on which you connect your USB, which I'm going to show here. You will have to purchase a separate USB, which is this end right here. As you can see, it plugs in upside down, right? And this cord will run directly to, you guessed it, your PC. And this will give you full functionality and control of this box right here that's going to be giving you the information needed translated into this dealio right here, which I will plug in now. Boom. So that's now being controlled by this. It's giving it all the proper information to give it the ABS and feeling like that. Then this just needs power, right? The power will connect straight into your wall and PC, and you're pretty much all set and ready to go. Now, it does come with some mounting hardware, some 3M double-sided tape, it looks like here. A standard bracket system for the P1000/P2000, which you will not need unless you do have the P1000s. Then keep a hold of this, and this will obviously just mount onto your stock P1000, P2000. And I think that's it. Oh, last but not least, the mounting system, the most important portion of this, how it's going to even attach to the pedals. Now, more specifically, I don't think I've got into this. If you guys don't already know, I do have the SimJack Pros, and those are extremely versatile, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, they are hands down best bang for your buck pedals out there, period. There's nothing that will come close for the durability and just how well they're designed, the craftsmanship. SimJack, I don't know what their profit margins are specifically, but I know that they are doing extremely well, and they're gaining a ton of popularity for what they are. Reviews are out the door at 5 stars, just incredible. I'm glad one of the best purchases I made for the rig was those pedals specifically. Now, this is your key player. You're gonna have to find somebody, and I'm gonna link his store down below. There's a lot of guys that do 3D printing. Now, if you have a 3D printer and you have the file, you can find a mounting solution for this haptic motor. All right, I'm going to show you how this is going to attach. Right, as you can see, right, you'll be able to see this little bevel right here. This is facing down, and this is where the cord will basically go. You line it up with these holes as so, and this will mount onto the backs of your brakes just like that, or gas, or clutch. You just mount it just accordingly, just like that, and we are going to now officially get started mounting these and hopefully testing with some proper setup here. You have 2 routes to go. A lot of guys, they decide to go with SimHub because there's a little bit more functionality and stuff like that, but I think that I'm going to go with the Simagic Pro Manager. I have the wheelbase and everything like that, so it's just going to pop up. I have the software, which I will also link in the description below. I'm going to test both methods. If I get better functionality out of the SimHub, I'll go that route. If I get better functionality and maybe feedback with the Sim Pro Manager, I'll go that route. It really just depends what feels best, and obviously you guys can take the route too, which feels best more specifically to you guys. Hopefully you guys find a good route for yourselves. Let's get these mounted.
What I'm going to show you guys is how I have these specifically set up, and we're going to go over into our manager right here. I was told between 30 and 35 hertz. That's really the best way to get these calibrated. Once you have all of these plugged in accordingly, so run your cord to your PC, plug in the power, plug in the haptic. This will show up accordingly in Sim Pro Manager, and it's that simple. It's plug and play, and you go over to pedals down here, and then you go over to, so it'll come over to your brakes, and then you go over to feedback right here, right? We have our brake. We're gonna go ahead and vibrate this at 25 hertz. Now, personally for me, this is where I love it. That is a ton of feedback. A lot. I can't exaggerate how much that's vibrating. You guys can probably see that on the camera as I'm pressing it. Now, you could also change this up to like 29 hertz, but as you go up, you get a little bit less than 43, like nothing, right? Especially when you're pushed in. At this angle, 31, hardly anything. And I feel like maybe around 25 is that feels great. There's a ton of power there, and that feels great to me. Once you have that set, you can set these. You can set this as a profile, and that's pretty much it. And then you save it. That's pretty much it. We're gonna go ahead and get started driving here, and I'll show you guys how these work. You can probably hear it down here as well. So right off the bat, I have my rumbler kit also installed with my gas. And I do have road effects turned on for that, so you're probably gonna hear a couple of different things going on. One of the biggest key takeaways, what I've noticed, I've already driven
So we're back, and so the overall verdict, feedback, is it worth it? Absolutely 100% yes. It is such a massive difference from the Rumbler kit that I just experienced over the past couple of weeks. If you're considering maybe getting these, or even haptics in general, absolutely get haptics. It makes a world's difference for the rig. Even if you get a little bit of base shakers on the rig every here and there, underneath the seat, under the pedal plate, just these little refining touches add so much immersion to your rig. And more specifically, this Simagic haptic motor is incredible. Now, I set this specifically to about 25 hertz. And the reason I did that is because once you get around even above like 28 to 30, it doesn't seem to be as powerful, and it performs better at lower frequencies. So I keep it about 24, 25. I encourage you guys to do the same. And also, I would like to see you guys, if you guys could, when you're setting these up, make sure you're setting it up simultaneously, not only with SimPro Manager, which is the Simagic hardware software, right? But you also want to, you also want to set this up also with SimHub as well, right? So when you're setting up both of these profiles, you want to make sure that you're enabling at 25 hertz for the brake, and you want wheels lock enabled, ABS enabled, and then there was one other one. I think it was, very minor road impacts, right? If I could give you one of the most exciting moments is when you're driving through the crest, you're going over through that crest right there over the Nords, and you're going downhill, and you have this curb to your left, and you have this little, it's a crest, but you have a little bit of a drop off down there. Now, if you very, very lightly trail brake through that zone, you're kind of touching the curb, you're kind of letting on the brake just a little bit, you're feeling resistance and kickback and the road rumbles. It's not just you're actually getting kickback, like a piston kickback on the pedals, which is just, it's a feeling that is very hard to describe, but you guys just have to experience it. It's truly worth it. It's incredible what the technology is doing now. It feels like you're actually in a car now. Now, I obviously took this to the next level, but this really brings it home. I don't know what else I could really add. Maybe motion in the future, but are they worth it? 10 out of 10, yes, absolutely worth it. And then one more time, again, comparing to the Rumble kit, you have physical vibrations set at a very high frequency compared to an actual motor that gives you haptic kickback and feedback and ABS feel and wheels lock and even tire slippage and curbing effect. If you're going left over the curb, you're getting kickback as you're braking a little bit, so you feel the red and white line just kicking back just a little bit, and it's a feeling that you really can't really describe or put into words, but more experience yourself. Is it worth it? Yes. And hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this content, and if you are teeter-tottering about maybe even adding haptics, just do it. It's worth it. And then one last thing, we do have an event in the sim racing groups that I'm in on Facebook. We're trying to shoot for Sunday. We're going to do a track day on the Nords, maybe do some battles, friendly battles of course, and really just kind of just socialize and have a relaxing afternoon on the Nords and just talk, and should be good. Again, if you guys have Discord, drop them in the comments below. I want to make sure I get everybody on the list, everybody that wants to participate in the track day. Let's go ahead and get that going. And I think that will conclude today's video. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying. Are they worth it? Bro, you guys have to get them. They're so freaking nice. And that'll be it.